Okay, and here we are. We appear to be lobbying up prior to the VPG England League 3 first game of the season. We've got Baffins Rovers FC due to take on the Sheffield Wednesday Academy. Looking at the lineup that we're expecting here from Baffins, this one's been sent through to me. In goal, we've got Darth Laxative, obviously a brilliant name, lined up in a 3-5-2 here. Across the back line, we've got Math Keys, It's Craigie in the centre, and Steve AFC out in that right centre back. In those defensive midfielder, those pivot positions, we've got Strainer and we've got Connor Geese. Before looking to the more attacking of the three, we've got Mark Amsterdam, Dave OD1 in that cam spot, Strainer PFC out on the right. Before looking up to our two attackers at the very top, we've got Slasher and we've got Kenny Fitzy. Looking over to the league, I've had a little look over on the VPG. Haven't actually seen a great deal of matches played by the Baffins team, so I'm under the impression this is actually one of the first seasons that they're playing. Really does add a little bit here to them. Looking over at Sheffield Wednesday Academy, they've got 135 wins in the VPG, 52 draws and 105 losses. It's a respectable sort of record. It's positive after all. And we'll have to see how they line up. They've got a good few number of players on their roster. They, of course, also play in the Europe League 5. And yes, here, this English League 3. Right, so we're about to get underway. Sheffield Wednesday kicking off in the yellow and Baffins Rovers in the all-white strip. We see Ken Dog take that one up. It's a long, early ball forward. Sheffield Wednesday with a show of intent there, but that's picked up by Darth Laxative. He tries to ping that out, but they're pressing high, Sheffield. Craigsy with a big block is in that central centre-back position. It's an important one, and he's started off strongly. So they're not really able to get it out of their half here. Baffins Rovers. Strainer tries to ping that one forwards, but it's taken up by Stephen Boyd. They need to slow down for a moment here. The pressure from Sheffield Wednesday really is showing, making it a bit tricky for them. And this does appear, it's the first time they managed to get it out of their half so far this game. But it's taken off them immediately. It's a little bit scrappy to start off with, not what Baffins Rovers will have been hoping for, but they get a great ball through. Here's Slasher now, gets it out on the left. He's fighting his way through, and it's played in, nearly gets all the way through there. Fair play, and they managed to win a corner. Not quite sure who's taking this, but it's whipped in towards the front post. It's cleared away, unfortunately. Sheffield come away with the ball on the right-hand side. Here's Lee A. James with the R1, L1 triangle through. And they force them out to the right, but they've still got the ball here in the Baffins box. That's Strainer doing the defensive duties. And now it's Baffins' turn to counter-attack. Strainer out on the right with a great drilled pass through there. Up towards Slasher. Slasher with a good shot, but Bo Camp in the Sheffield net makes a save on the stroke of the 11th minute. It's better from Baffins. They're getting forwards. They've got a couple of corners as we've seen so far. That one slightly more dangerous than the first, but it still does come away with the same result. Sheffield on the attack. Once again they go long. This time acres of space out on that right hand side for Amesy, who takes the shot, but Dark Laxative saw that one all the way, almost expecting it to go towards the back post from the very beginning. Covered it well, and ultimately an easy save. Sheffield have gone all the way back to their keeper here, trying to work something as they go forward. Dare I say they're going to look for an over-the-top ball once again, as we see Baffins maintaining their line nice and high on that halfway line. They're not giving any free space to the Sheffield Wednesday Academy, who do still have the ball here. They make their way across the halfway line with G. Rish turning one of the defensive midfielders out, and once again they go for the long ball. They're making it very clear what they intend to do. I'm sure it does work for them. Oh, and a high press does win the ball there for Sheffield Wednesday. They snap a shot off outside the box. It rattles off the bar. That really could have been dangerous for Baffins, but they do survive there. Not all over though. Sheffield Wednesday out here on the left. They take a long shot. That's blocked by Krusty Crimbo. G. Rish still has the ball though out on the edge. They're not able to get this one away for long enough. And it's a big ball forward and Kendog knocks that one home. It's not the start that Baffins will have wanted. 23 minutes on the clock. And one of the shortest players on the pitch manages to win a header. Sheffield Wednesday have made it very clear that the way they want to get forward is by long balls in the air, and that one finds the header Kendog, who nods it past the keeper. It's unfortunate there from a keeper's perspective. You don't know whether to go left or to the right, and unfortunately King Laxative was really in no man's land there. Shouldn't have had to face that shot. You'd have hoped the defence would have been able to follow that one a bit better, but it happens, and they've got to turn it around now. Game on. We really need to see the attack for Baffins get forward. Slasher really did just try to, then gets muscled off the ball unfortunately. And let's see, Sheffield Wednesday on the ball. They got it. G. Rish, another long ball forwards. They're really trying to exploit the pace of their striker there, the one who scored the goal. Haven't managed to get their name. No, I do believe it was Kendog, excuse me. Crazy though, passing it to Conor Geese, who loses it cheaply. Play through to Salzar. Lee James, once again another long pass. This time it's on the ground. Kendog, the goal scorer, is dispossessed though by Kenny Fitzy, the striker, coming back for defensive duties. And they try and switch, but Lee James picks it up nicely. Dave O'D though has this one here for Baffins, out to Mark Amsterdam, who tries the early cross, but Matt B is a rock in the way there, stops that one going through. Here's Matt Four for Sheffield. Goes out wide to King Cairo. Out on the left. Try another cross in. Craigsy's not letting that one get past like the goal before, and clears that one away. Not as far as he'd have liked though. Sheffield still have the ball. They've recycled that one. They've gone all the way back. But Kenny Fitzy, the striker with another defensive effort, manages to win that one on the halfway line. Potentially dangerous, but it was picked up by Sheffield. They come away with the ball now. Mafoy, strainer with a big challenge. I'm aware there are two strainers, and then played into Dave. It's a long ball across to Kenny Fitzy with the Elastico. Tries to square it, manages, oh no, doesn't win the corner. That's really unfortunate. It's more positive though for Baffins. We're coming up to half time. They need to get something done, and this really would be the time to do it, to really shift that momentum into that minute break of half time. But Sheffield Wednesday play it forward. Lee James pings it across. It's cut back over, and to be honest, I think Sheffield should have shot that on the back post. Hindsight's 2020, of course. But Darth Laxative didn't seem convincing there, although maybe they did, because the winger passes it in to absolutely nobody. Sheffield lose another attack there. Here's Conor Geese, tries to play it forward into Slasher, doesn't quite come away with it, and Sheffield break with the ball now. Here's G. Rish. They really they are forcing it a bit. The L1 R1 triangle, that driven lofted through ball. You'd like to see them with a bit more creativity, but it does see them 1-0 up as we're coming into half time, so who am I to judge? They press high and win the ball here. G. Rish losing it though, unfortunately. And there's half time as it stands. Baffins with some work to do going into the second half, falling to a header. Looking at the XG stats, Sheffield Wednesday with 1.1 expected goals, Baffins with 0.5. Possession relatively equal. We see Sheffield have had a few more shots, though a number of those were blocked pretty immediately. I imagine most of the XG was actually from the goal shot, as it was a wide open header. We'd like to see some more from Baffins, some more clear-cut chances, but we'll have to see what comes. So far, I'd have to say Kenny Fitzy, 2000, the right striker, making some big defensive plays and probably doing the most creatively going forward as well. Need to see the two defensive midfielders for Baffins just be a bit more compact as they immediately lose the ball. But Kenny Fitzy, that man again, manages to sweep it up. We've got the DM Strainer who plays it out wide to Mafkeys. They try and go forward with a driven pass, doesn't quite work out. Sheffield Wednesday here with the ball in their half. Mafwa, who's been quite influential, just holding the ball a lot in the middle of the pitch, and Kendog there dispossessed by Crimbo. Mafwa plays it forward. G. Rish, the cam, not over the top, through ball for the first time I've seen in a while, and Kendog, the goal scorer, tries a Travella cross, but Krusty Crimbo, the right centre back, blocks that one well, and away come Baffins. They play a big ball forward. I'm not sure if that's offside. Doesn't matter though, as it's headed back to the keeper Beaucamp for Sheffield Wednesday, who kicks that one forwards. It's crazy. Aside from the lost header for the goal has been absolutely solid. Once again heading it forward. Here's Strainer, the DM, forward to Dave, and that's a great shot. Slasher manages to get that one past Bo on the right hand side of the goal. It's a great finish. It's 1-1. Game on. Just what Baffins will have wanted. Not sure what they were saying in the half-time break, but I imagine it was something to the effect of, let's get an early goal in this second half. That's exactly what they've done. It's the 54th minute. 1 goal apiece. This one's been blown wide open. Sheffield Wednesday are going to need to see, can they keep going with this tactic of a long ball over the top, or do they need to shift it up? Baffins will feel, though, they've got a bit of momentum as Dave wins the ball. It's right off the kickoff. Unfortunately loses it straight back. Mafwa here, who I believe has got some sort of left centre mid roll with a big ball forward. You'd have to think that was offside, but evidently not. It was played to perfection, cut back across, and Amy there reinstates Sheffield Wednesday's lead. It's really unfortunate from a Baffins perspective. From my end, it did look like it was offside, but the game's not going to lie in that sort of information. Oh, and it's a great challenge. What was going on there? Kenny was breaking forward for an insta reply, but a sliding challenge, which, a couple of pixels to the side would have been a penalty, gets put in. The corner comes in, and Beaucamp saves the header, which was directed straight at them. Sheffield Wednesday break again. You have to expect a high through ball to be played relatively soon, as it's been working for them. Just touching back on that goal, the high ball went all the way to a wide open man out by the Baffins left centre back. Baffins, who hit the bar themselves as Mark Amsterdam, the left mid, gets forward into the box, is positive from them. They've seen the game go to even at 54 minutes before going a goal behind again. Almost tied it straight back up as Sheffield Wednesday get a goal kick there after a challenge high up the pitch. Yeah, the goal, it went out beyond the left centre back, wide open space, just cutting it into the open man who finished. Made it very tricky for Darth Laxative. They didn't have much to do. Ball played in though by Baffins. It's been all them in this time that I've been speaking. Kenny there, almost able to get a shot off, manages to win a corner for the team. 65 minutes played, still 2-1 to Sheffield. See where this one ends up. It ends up at Kenny at the back post after being flicked on. You just hope that the reactions were there. I've no doubt Kenny will have been pressing the shoot button. Amesy though pings it forward. King Cairo forces a great save from Darth Laxative, a double save, and that really could have been dangerous, but Darth Laxative, the Baffins keeper, keeps it at a 1-goal deficit as Dave breaks forward here. The cam all the way out on that left touchline. Strainer, the DM, plays it forward. Mark Amsterdam is tackled and it goes out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Baffins trying to keep the ball here. They play it back as far as Craigsy. Now they work it forward relatively well, but the centre-back for Sheffield Wednesday stands strong. Dave unfortunately can't squeeze a pass through. Lee A. James manages to get on that, and here's Kendog, the first goal scorer. And there it is, the trademark at this point. Sheffield L1 triangle doesn't get very far. Connor Geese coming away in that right defensive mid spot for Baffins. Unfortunately, Kenny can't get through there, and Sheffield have the ball in line with their 18-yard box. That's Matt B, the right centre-back. They work it up well down this right-hand side. Lee James, who's won that ball back a couple of times, loses it themselves actually as Mafkeys, the left centre-back for Baffins, puts in a big challenge. Here's Dave, the cam, needs something creative from them. And Slasher, the goal scorer, doesn't quite get that pass through. Sheffield taking it down the right-hand side. Amy plays it back in and gets a bit of space out here on the right. Tries to cut it in. Craigsy, as I've been saying, pretty solid here. Manages to stand strong. It's unfortunate for them looking at the 2 goals they've conceded, because I'd have to say Craigsy's put in a pretty good shift so far. Ken Dogg for Sheffield Wednesday has the ball on that left side, and Kenny, the striker, not afraid to get their hands dirty, comes in and forces the ball out wide. See a fake throw that doesn't really fool anybody, but unfortunately the ball's been lost straight away by Krusty Crimbo, who swiftly wins it back with an interception. And now we've got Strainer out on the right flank, plays it into Kenny, into Dave, who can't quite get the pass through. Dave does have it back though. Seems to be some sort of foul. Yeah, I believe Kenny a bit too rough with the defender there. Doesn't quite manage to keep that one within the rules. And here's the King Cairo for Sheffield Wednesday into G. Rish, who pings it forward. You really just needed that one on the ground, but they've got their philosophy, which is the long ball over the top. Bit too long though, as Darth Laxative picks it up, pings it out, and nearly Kenny's able to get to that. But it's gone out for a throw-in. We're in the 87th minute. Really is do or die time here in the first game of the season for Baffins. With their first game in the league, though, you have to say they've not had a bad game by any means. As Kenny breaks through, nearly ties it up. It's cut back across, and the flare shot. Oh, Dave catches it just about on the penalty spot after a good few ricochets. We saw Slasher with a flare shot that's blocked. It comes back out to Dave, who just drills that one wide. That was the opportunity, and unfortunately I think that's the chance of points disappearing for Baffins. They do have the ball though with Darth Laxative, who I'm sure is going to pump that one forward. They do exactly that, and it's nodded down by Sheffield, but Craigie, the defender, is all the way up, and now here's Kenny in the box. Travella shot doesn't quite go through. Out to Strainer on the right hand side. Lots of people are back. Unfortunately, I think the stamina was too low and he slips as he tries to cross it in. That's full time. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Baffins Rovers 1. It's a really tough way to lose, especially given the pinball almost at the very end of the game. But we see that one finish 2-1 in the first game of the English League 3 campaign. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll be ending this stream now, but plenty more to follow, hopefully. We'll have to see how this league ends up playing out. Of course, we've still got lots of time to go. Plenty of time for Baffins to turn it around, or for Sheffield Wednesday to continue to build on this. You'd really hope that Sheffield Wednesday team finds something other than the long ball over the top in terms of chance creation. But what can I say? They got the 2 goals from it. They got the 3 points. And that'll be that. Thank you very much for joining me.